Hello everyone, I've got an OU battle here. It was with one of my subscribers, WyvernLord05. He challenged me to a match and I accepted. So it's OU, and he leads with Requiem the Bronzong. I lead with Mudkips the Swampert. He goes by the username of WyvernSlayer on PO, so we both open up with Stealth Rock. I switch in Magneto, the Magnezone. I bring back the Swampert Mudkips. He brings in Rhymewind, the Abomasnow, which starts up a permanent hailstorm. So he's running a hail team. He uses Protect, and I miss with a hidden power because of the Protect. And he gains leftovers, so I tried for another hidden power, and it doesn't quite knock him out, even though he's 4x weak to it. He doesn't have enough energy left for a substitute after that, though. He does use Protect next turn, so I could not finish him off. And, of course, I'm slowly taking more and more hail damage as it goes on. He switches back and brings in Requiem, who is now trapped from Magnezone's magnet pull. So his Bronzong is kind of trapped, so I'm going to just continue to use Hidden Power, which was Fire, Hidden Power, Fire. He misses with Earthquake because I have a balloon. And at this point, I'm actually almost at 50% health, almost based purely on hail damage. But he hits with a Gyro Ball, which pops my balloon and causes me to return back to the ground, making me now prone to ground-type attacks. But after a couple more Hidden Power Fires, I do manage to take out Requiem the Bronzong. So he brings in Desire the Frostlass. And so at this point, I switch into Juno the Scissor. He drops a Substitute and recovers some HP from leftovers. Hail's still going on. So I Bullet Punch to get rid of the Substitute. He Thunder Waves, paralyzes my Scissor, while the hail's still beating down on me, at least. I missed with a Pursuit due to Snow Cloak. That was very painful. So he switches, and of course, like I said, I missed with Pursuit. He brings in Leviathan the Tentacruel, and hits with a Rapid Spin, blowing both of our Stealth Rocks away. I hit with a U-turn to try and get the hell out of dodge, which is a critical hit. I bring back Magneto. I was going to try for the Thunder weakness, even though I know that Tentacruel is a bit especially bulky. He hits with a Scald before I get any sort of attack off, which knocks out Magneto. So I bring in Mudkips again, the Swampert. He hits with a Sludge Wave, which doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so I counter with an Earthquake for the KO and take out Leviathan. So he brings back in Abomasnow and tried for another substitute but didn't have enough HP. I use Stealth Rock and get that back up in my favor. I go for an Ice Beam since it is neutral and isn't resisted, but only hits for 13%. Misses with a Leech Seed. Hail is still beating down on my team slowly but surely. He goes for a Protect, and I miss with an Earthquake. Even though I know Earthquake is resisted, I thought it might do more damage being Stab. So he finally hits with a Leech Seed, and so I hit with an Earthquake, which actually did do more damage, even though it's resisted. And, of course, he's now gaining HP back from the Leech Seed. So I switch back and I bring in Juno. He hits Protect, which fails, because I didn't do anything. So, hail raining down. Hits with Blizzard, only does 21%. And of course, I get Paralysis Hacks. Can't do anything about that. So, he goes for a Protect, which, of course, causes me to miss a Bullet Punch. Hail continues to pour down and really, really affect my team here. So, he switches out Rhymewind to bring us back Icebreaker. I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced. Anyways, he brings out his Swampert, which is enough to resist my Bullet Punch. So I bring back Juno and bring in Pringles the Jellicent, who he just immediately roars out and forces me to bring in Juno, who dies from hail damage. So I just bring in Pringles again anyway. So I Will-O-Wisp and Burn, which reduces the attack power he gets. So he hits with an Earthquake, which doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And hail and leftovers and all of that lovely stuff happens. I recover. And he roars and blows out Pringles and brings in Ironhide the Skarmory. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen some of these. If you watch my first battle, you'll actually recognize this team for the most part. I drop Spikes, and he hits with an Avalanche, which does hardly no damage at all. Hail making sure that my leftovers doesn't really do anything, but his burn is slowly ticking his HP down. I drop another layer of spikes. He roars me out. Brings back in Jellicent, who takes Stealth Rock damage. Even though it doesn't show on my screen, I still have Stealth Rock, oddly enough. Which, actually, that might have been why Juno died also, besides the hail damage. Anyway, so he brings back in Desire the Frostlass and tries to drop a substitute, but doesn't have enough energy. I taunt to make sure that he can't. It actually was expecting more of a Destiny Bond Trapper, but I didn't. That wasn't what it was running. So it struggles and hits with struggle, and I finish it off with Scald because it takes 25% of its own health from struggle. So he brings in Moloch the Walrein, who takes Stealth Rock and Spikes damage, and drops a substitute immediately. I taunt to try and keep him from using Protect. So he uses Blizzard, and doesn't hit very well, but it did freeze me, even if it didn't really do anything with the freeze. So I try for his Scald, which doesn't break the sub. Of course, his Ice Body, heals him as long... Oh, Ice Body heals him, and so does the leftovers. There, I said it right. He hits with another Blizzard. I Scald, of course, still not breaking the sub. His Blizzard not really doing a whole lot of damage. So, I use Recover to boost my own HP. And he's still continually gaining HP back. The taunt ends, which is not a good thing. So he drops a Toxic, and I manage to taunt again, which forces him into using Blizzard again. Unfortunately, the Toxic is going to cut Mr. Pringle's HP and his lifespan quite a bit. So I switch, I bring in Ironhide, who eats a very powerful Blizzard, 50% of his HP. And so the Hailstorm, brings his HP down a little bit, but gets cancelled by the leftovers. So I Roost, try and gain HP back. He hits with a Blizzard, which is not very effective due to losing the flying typing. But he hits with another Blizzard after I no longer roosted, and finishes me off. So I bring in Mudkips again, the Swampert. He protects to keep me from using Earthquake. And, of course, he's hiding behind a substitute now, so he drops Toxic, and of course that's not a good thing. I Earthquake and make the substitute disappear. Leftovers and Hail still. Of course, poison damage is seriously going to shorten Mudkip's lifespan as he continues to drop substitute while I keep continuing to try and remove it. Moloch's managing to stall me out here. So I switch in Mudkips and bring in Terra, hoping for something good here. Not sure what I can really do, but I bring in Terra the Flygon. He drops a substitute. I hit with an Earthquake, which drops his substitute and destroys it. However, he counters with a Blizzard and takes me out in one hit. So I bring in Pringles. At this point, I'm in a lot of trouble here. So he uses Protect, and I taunt, but the Protect actually protects him from the taunt, which isn't a good thing. So I take poison damage. He drops another substitute, and I taunt, which actually works, but it may be too late at this point. I take poison damage. I bring Mudkips back out to try and do some damage. Hits with a Blizzard, which actually finishes off Mudkips. I was not expecting it to hit that hard. So I bring in Pringles again, since he's the last remaining member of my team. So he switches in and brings in Rhymewind, who takes Stealth Rock and Spikes damage. I finish it off with a Scald. So then he, of course, that leaves it one-on-one. Pringles versus Moloch. He takes Spikes damage, he takes Stealth Rock damage. But he protects, I miss... Oh, I recovered on this turn, that's right. So, he protects, I recover, trying to stall each other out, but unfortunately at this point I don't have anybody to help me reset the counter on my Toxic Poison. Of course, I go for a Will-O-Wisp, but I'm slower, so the substitute blocks it. And then he protects again just to make sure that I can't do anything. Of course, I tried to taunt, which doesn't do anything because of the protect. And eventually, he goes for another protect, which fails. and I Scald, which of course doesn't do anything because of the substitute and, you know, resistance. Eventually, I die from toxic damage and the hailstorm. But anyway, I think what I should have done in this battle was I should have continued to taunt until he ran out of Blizzard, and that actually probably would have caused me to not lose Terra like I did. It would have forced him into a struggle, I believe, because he had Toxic, Protect, Substitute, and Blizzard. Blizzard only has 8 PP at max. I should have just kept taunting, but that was, you know, hindsight's always 50-50. Or hindsight's always 20-20, rather. Anyway, thank you for the awesome match, Wyvern, and hopefully maybe we'll get to do this again one day. But I'll see you on the next battle. Take care, and have fun, everybody.